crafter friends, thank you very much for joining me. This is Annette Kessler with Saturday Extravaganza, and today I'm creating a mixed media canvas with a peeled paint effect that we're going to create with acrylic paint. So first I have a 6 by 6 inches canvas here, and I'm going to cover it with some pattern paper. Now this is a double-sided cardstock, and it's very thick and very difficult to work with, especially when you want to cover an entire canvas. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to soften it by spritzing some water on it, and I'm going to use my hands to rub in the water into the paper fibers. And I'm going to do that at least 3 times, and that will soften the paper, and it will be almost like fabric. It will get really nice and soft and flexible, and you could cover everything with it, and it will be very, very easy to work with. See, you will feel it in your hands when you do that. It's going to be really good. So, once you have that, you don't need to dry it. It's going to stay a little bit wet, but that's fine. And you just need to add some gel medium to the surface of your canvas so you can adhere the paper well to all the corners. So once you do that, you can wrap the canvas with the paper, and that will become very easy because, like I said, the paper is very flexible at this point. And what I want to do is I want to wrap it around the edges of my canvas. So I'm going to turn it around and add some more gel medium on the back so it will glue down very easily. If you need to tear a little bit of the corners, and go ahead and do that. That will make life a little bit more easy. So I'm just going to wrap around everything. And once you are done with wrapping your canvas, just make sure everything is dry, and then most important thing to do is to seal the paper. And the way we're going to do that is just add another coat of gel medium or Mod Podge, you can also use that, on top of the paper. That will seal it, and that will protect it from everything that we're going to add to the canvas. So seal the paper, make sure you cover all of the paper, sides and everything, and dry it well with your heat tool, and then everything will be sealed and ready for our next step. So now I'm going to use Vaseline to teach you how to create that peeled paint effect. It's actually a really old technique, but I really like it, and I realized I haven't done it so far, so I want to show you how to do it. So you take a little bit of Vaseline and you put it on the canvas in those areas where you want the paint to peel. Just with your finger, you add the Vaseline, and then you will take an acrylic paint of your choice. So I'm going to use red, and you just cover the entire the entire canvas with the paint. Just paint all over the canvas. Now what will happen is, once you dry it with your heat tool, the acrylic paint will not stick on the areas where you put the Vaseline, because acrylic paints are water-based and Vaseline is oil. So as you know, water and oil don't mix. And once that's dry, you just take a paper towel and you rub off all the acrylic paint from the areas where the Vaseline is, and you get the effect of peeling paint, like so. Now I'm going to do this a few times with different colors, and once you're done with your first layer, you just go ahead and do a second layer in the exact same way, only with a different acrylic paint. So you add your Vaseline on the areas where you want them to peel off later, and then you just paint all over the canvas again, or just on the areas that you want to peel off. And you dry it, and then you use your paper towel in the same way. So I'm going to use orange and add some orange on there. So I'm just painting over the areas where I put the Vaseline, and also in some areas that I want the paint to stay, where there is no Vaseline. And once that's dry, I'm going to take the paper towel and peel off all the orange paint. And you will see that once you rub it off, then you get some little crumbs of paint. Just make sure that you wipe them all off. And my third layer of paint is going to be green. And I want to add a little bit green so it won't be so, I don't know, just want to add some green. Put a little bit of paste of Vaseline this time, not too much. I'm just feeling with my fingers where I put the Vaseline because I can't remember. But anyway, you don't need to use your fingers, you can just see where you get the glossy effect, and then you know that the Vaseline is there. So just removing the paint again. And I think I'm going to use my final layer of paint with some yellow, which is kind of a surprise because usually I don't like yellow. But I think it would really fit here, and I want to add a little bit of yellow. So trying new things and new colors in my art piece is a good thing. I recommend it. So I'm just adding very little Vaseline, the corners and here and there. And then I'm going to add my yellow paint. Just where I put the Vaseline. Just a little yellow, not too much. We don't want to overdo the yellow, right? And I'm going to dry this with my heat tool and peel off the paint. So I like my background at this point, and I'm ready to add my letters. Just going to add a little bit of yellow on the sides first, just to add another layer of color on the sides as well. So now I can add my letters. Now for the word art, I'm going to use pieces of paper that I cut. This used to be a cutout page with letters on it. Now I've used the letters, and I now have the paper or the cardstock that has only the shape of the letters. So I cut them out to use as stencils. And this is a really nice way to maximize your supplies. So don't throw away your cardstocks that you used to have letters in, your cutouts, because you can use them as stencils. So that's a really good way to use leftover stuff that you have. So here comes the R. I'm doing it one letter at a time, just to keep them nice and crisp and clear, because I don't want, when I put the paper on that, I don't want them to smear. And I'm using a foam brush or dabber. So that's ready, and I'm going to use the word imagine. I have here some chipboard letters. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to color them in the same way I did the background. So I'm adding a little bit of Vaseline to each letter, and then I'm going to paint over them with some black acrylic paint. And once they'll be dry, I'll peel off the paint. So we'll have the same effect on the background. And you can notice that I did not paint them in a base coat of any color. So that would mean that once I remove the black acrylic paint, what will show is the base chipboard paint, which that's the way I want it. So if you want it to look different, like let's say have a white color to them, once you peel off the black, then you just color your letters before you put the Vaseline on. And don't worry if your fingers get dirty. A little water and soap will take care of that. So, painting the letters, drawing them with my heat tool, and then I'm just going to use my fingers to peel off the paint. See, it's not very clear, but trust me, it looks great. The letters are really small and gentle, so try to use your fingers very carefully so you won't tear them. Although they're chipboard, but they're very thin. So I'm going to add that to my canvas vertically. So I'm going to turn it, because that will make it easier for me to glue them down straight. So, adding my letters, imagine, to the canvas. Of course, you can think of other words that you want to use, or you can just add more elements or embellishments, or just leave the background as is and have a really abstract piece, which is also kind of cool. So I'm just adding the last letters. Imagine that. And I'm also going to add the word inspire with a stamp. Now I have a stamp here, and I'm going to stamp the canvas with some yellow, yes, yellow ink. And that yellow is going to be like a shadow to the brown ink that I'm going to use to stamp it a second time. The same word on the same place. So I'll have like a two-tone word on my canvas. So I'm going to add some brown ink to my stamp and stamp it again at the same time. It's going to look really cool, see? So basically our canvas is ready. You can add more stuff to it if you want, but I like it the way it is. This is a closer look at all of it. And thank you very much for watching. I hope you were inspired to create your own peeled paint effect. And I'll see you all next Saturday for another Saturday Extravaganza video tutorial. Have a great weekend, you guys.